to the State Council Information Office press conference regarding the high-quality trade development. Recently, the CPC Central Committee and the State Council released documents in this regard. For you to better understand the information, we are glad to invite Mr. Ren Hongbin, Assistant Minister of Commerce, to give you the guidance opinions of promoting high-quality trade development and answer your questions. And we're also delighted to invite Head of the Department of Foreign Trade, Mr. Li Xinqian, to join us. First, the floor is yours, Mr.
各位新闻媒体的朋友们，大家下午好。
Friends from
非
the
常高
media,
兴
good
地参
afternoon.
加今天下午的媒体的发布会。
I'm very
在此呢，我
delighted
也
to
代表商务
attend
部
this afternoon's
感谢大
conference.
家长期以来对对外贸易工作的关心和支持。对
I
外
would
贸
like
易
to
呢，是
express
我
you
国开放型经济的
for your
重要
long-term
的部分
support.
和国民经济发展的重要推动力量。党中央、国务院高度重视外贸工作，习近平总书记等中央领导同志多次作出重要的指示批示。党的19届四中全会提出，要建设更高水平开放型经济新体制，实施更大范围、更宽领域、更深层次的全面开放。近日，中共中央、国务院印发《关于推进贸易高质量发展的指导意见》。下面呢，我就文件的起草背景、总体思路、主要内容做个简要的介绍。一、起草背景。改革开放以来，我国对外贸易发生了历史性的跨越。2009年成为货物贸易出口第一大国，2013年成为世界货物贸易第一大国，贸易总量从1978年的206亿美元扩大到2018年的4.62万亿美元，增长了223倍。外贸结构实质优化，223逐步提高，为国民经济和社会发展做出积极贡献，为促进世界经济增长发挥了重要作用。但与一些国家相比，我国外贸在产业基础、创新能力、
China's foreign trade has played an
规则制定
important
能
role
力
to
等方面
promote China's
还存在差距，
development and also contribute largely to the world economy. And that
当前我国
we
经
also
济
see the
正
room
在
for
由高速
improvement.
增长阶段
Right now,
转向
the
高
China's
质量发展。
economy is shifted from
面
the
对国内
high
国情
speed to
形
high
势，
quality
我们
development,
坚持
facing
深
the
化
new
各色结构
circumstance
改革，
domestically
加
and
快对外贸易
globally,
中的新优势，
and we will
努力推进贸易
foster
高质
the
量
a
发
new
展。
energy to drive the
这是推动
development
构建更高
and
水平
to
开放型
promote
经
the
济
a
新
high
体制，
quality development.
提升我
This is
国综合
conducive
国
for
力
the
和
whole
国际竞
system
争力，
and
服务
also
实现
build up
200亿
our
美元
competitive
中国目标
advantage
的
of
目
China
标
and to realize
也
the
是
two
支持经
centenary
济
goals.
全球化和多边贸易体制，实现互利共赢，构建人类命运共同体的必然选择。二、总体思路。商务部会同29个部门和单位，针对制约我国外贸发展的突出问题，研究起草了
The MOFCOM will work with the relevant departments and draft the guiding opinions on promoting the high quality development and for deliberate by the State Council. It's guided by Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and also guided by the plenary, third plenary, and the fourth plenary session of the 19th CPC Party Committee and the Congress. And we would like to search the new form and models for our high quality development, and we will also work on the trade, the import export. It is committed to the new development concept and prioritize the joint development building on the Belt and Road. The guiding opinion aimed to give a full scope of the China's foreign trade, and this is laid a solid foundation and giving the directions of future development. We talk about the future. It's actually divided into 10 parts, including 34 terms. And for the first part is you mentioned the goals. We will further increase our trade by 2022. Part 2 to Part 7 will talk about the 4 major tasks: innovation, structure, balance of trade. new model of deepening our reform. And it's a nice part. We'll also talk about the relevant principles on the external environment, and we'll also have included the legal systems and laws and regulations. So the guidance actually embrace the 5 development philosophy. It emphasizes on the driving forces. We talk about development concepts, and it talk about the innovation-driven development, the green development, and we have strictly watch on the import in terms of the high environmental pollution and not environmental friendly import. Secondly, this guiding opinion have 5 optimization and 3 development measures. This emphasizes that we will actively promote the 5 optimizations in terms of international market, internal regional structure, optimizing entities, and commodity structures. We'll talk about the foreign trade increased by 5.5% to 48%. The output of the merchandising is the 48%, and the general foreign trade increased by 10%. So the guidance also talk about to build up the whole platform to better support the development. The MOFCOM recently has doubled our efforts in providing the platforms and the network systems, and we organized the CIIE, and we also play a great role in fostering the new form of foreign trade. In the past decades, China's foreign development gave the credit to the unleashed potential, but we should also focus on our weakness. We talk about the further strengthen the supply side structural reform, and also unleash the energies domestically, and also let the innovation play a greater role. So it's not only focus on the speed. We all talk about the quality. We talk about the competitive advantage. And fourthly, we will largely improve the foreign trade, the export, and we will also let the free trade zone play a greater role, and also roll out experience, and also build up the free trade port, and we strengthen the Belt and Road Initiative, and we actively promote China's proposal and China's plan in order to better deliver the benefits to people along the route and the whole world to build up the free trade network. By year 2020 is the final year of the 13th five-year plan and building a well-being society. So the MOFCOM will seek to our main role, let the reform to play its greater role and to be conducive in building and promoting the high quality development, and to create the synergy among different actors in order to achieve our goal. Thank you. Now the floor is open. Please identify your media affiliation. With China News Agency. So this time, the guiding opinions gave the guidance of the future China's development and what's the evaluation system. Thank you for your question. The guiding principle mentioned by year 2020, we will build a high quality development in terms of the index, KPI, statistics system, all these actually give the institutional guarantees. So about these three areas, first we talk about the index system. Of course, it should be problem-driven system, especially we focus on the weakness. Sure, follow the rule of the market, and we would like to coordinate the policies in the trade, investment, economy, finance, and business should all work together. And we talk about the e-commerce. We should have in terms of scope, scale, a performance, and competitiveness. So we have the index in all these respective areas to dynamically monitor the change. And talking about the other systems as for unified statistics system. Talk about a KPI, we will release the report regarding China's high-quality development, especially automobiles, the rail construction, and we will release the white paper in all these regard. So talk about all these system building. There are three features in terms of creative. So first, it emphasizes that the trade can be embraced and integrated with other sectors. And second, we focus on the various systems of index. And third, we emphasize on the quantity role and also its role to the service sector. For our next step, we will focus on the following plans. First, we will work with different departments to drive the high-quality development. And second, we will lay out the action plan to emphasize our priority and role and responsibilities. Third, we will work with relevant departments based on roles and responsibilities to release the actual documents. So the MOFCOM will work with departments and monitor the implementation, make sure everything is executive in a well-orderly way. From the CMG CCTV. This year, the foreign trade exceeded 3 trillion yuan, and what's the feature of this year? And according to the report, next year we'll be facing a more challenging situation. So what's your take on that? And to talk about stabilize the foreign trade, what's the main task for MOFCOM? I'll invite my colleague to take your question. Thank you for your question. MOFCOM fully implement a plan of stabilizing the foreign trade. We see a good growth against the headwind, and it's better than our expectation. Talk about first in terms of scale. From January to November, the total value 28.5 trillion yuan increased by 2.4%. Our estimated number is foreign trade around 30 trillion yuan. Compared to other countries, China's growth rate higher than the major economies around the world. Second, we look at quality. It's keeping improving. We talk about high value added, high technology imports, the integrated circuits. Increased e-commerce retail increased more than 20%. And third, is the structure is improved. The trade number for BRI is 29.3%. We also look at the upgrade export. The mechanical exports play a greater role. And we look at the private sectors. Their trade taking up 51.4%. The major entity of the all actors in the foreign trade. Talking about the next year external environment, we grab a clear understanding of the bigger picture. We look at still we're facing a sluggish global environment. which is lack of the driving forces, and also the WTO also scaled down the focus on the growth rate of the world economy. Look internally, we have a sound fundamental with strong resilience. And the market entities are also quite energetic. We have all the reasons to believe next year we will keep the growth rate. So MOFCOM work on the high quality development, and we will focus on the improving the quality and the efficacy, and we will also work with the BRI countries to step into the new markets and also improve the international business environment and network. We will also focus on domestically to look at the trade structures, the business structures, and let the market entities play a greater role, and also foster the new model and form of business, and will also establish a batch of the pilot free trade zone for e-commerce, and we will encourage the border business to flourishing, and we will also help to upgrading the business form, and we will of course work on the facilitation and liberalization of trade and to lower the cost and increase the quality and the efficacy. Ms. 联合早报. My question is regarding the China-US trade. So what's the most updated progress? So if the United States still impose the tariff on China's import on December 15th, will China implement the countermeasures? I will take your question. Regarding China-US economic and trade cooperation, our situation and attitude is always consistent and clear-cut. China and the U.S. will win from cooperation, will lose from confrontation. Regarding the trade talks, we hope both sides, on the basis of the mutual respect and equality, will further drive the progress, while considering each other's legitimate rights and interests to come to a conclusion as early as possible. And for more information, please stay closely to MOFCOM's press conference. With CGTN. Regarding high-quality development, which are the key sectors as our priorities, and what kind of the new business opportunities will be created for the companies from Europe and US? I will take your question. Thank you for your question. Regarding high-quality development, as I mentioned, is a strategic, a systematic document. It includes a quite large range of sectors. And regarding the market entities, first, high-quality development should give the requirement to improve the business environment, no matter for Chinese companies or foreign companies. It's very helping to both of them. We talk about the European or US companies and also other foreign companies. Look at the past 4 decades since China's reform and opening up. From zero to right now, you can look at a whole bunch of foreign trade and foreign business. They play a greater role. And also, they right now switch to a high-quality development. They also play a conducive role for China to realize high-quality development. We look at the high-tech companies. It's around 220 billion RMB. That's for the FDI, and that's increased by 39%. We look at the foreign trade. The foreign business, they also play a larger role in the foreign trade. So we talk about the improved business structure will also give a greater support for the foreign trade. So the number is 1.5 trillion, taking up 40.3%. For exports, 70% as the high-tech products, taking up 33.7% of total exports. So we look at the foreign business, actually they are a key driver for China to realize high-quality development. For our next step, MOFCOM will continue to implement the guidance and requirement mentioned by the President Xi Jinping at the second CIIE, which is 5 key priorities. We will implement the foreign trade law and the corresponding guidance, and we will implement the negative list, market access, and we also focus on the new business, the clean energy sectors, the service sectors, and in order to provide a better service to all the companies, including business from US and Europe, and let them also play a leading role in high-quality development. Economic Daily. In the guiding opinions, it talk about a balanced development of trade and industry. So how we understand this opinion? As we all know, high-quality development for trade should be rely on a solid industrial development. We have a complete industrial system, and China is the largest manufacturing country, is leading the world. We have more than 220 manufacturing items. It also plays a greater role to support China's economic and trade development. So we talk about the trade actually a good bridge and the impetus to further drive the development of the whole industry. They reinforce each other. Talk about export. In 10 consecutive years, China is the largest exporter, taking up 20% of the total GDP. And we covered 230 countries and regions around the world. And we strengthened the global cooperation, which also in turn promotes the domestic development. So a group of enterprises also present themselves globally, so that also link the China's industrial chain with the global industrial chain. And we also import the cutting-edge technologies, equipment, which also conducive to further develop the domestic industries. So look at the past 4 decades. We look at our domestic companies actually improving their competitive advantages, which require us to open our door wider. We will see a deeper development and linkage of China's and the global industrial chain, value chain, and supply chain. And we will do a good job in the following 3 areas. Number 1, we will develop a global industrial chain. So we make sure we will be bringing in and going out at the same time. And we will maintain the proportion of export, and we will also would like to bring the exports to the design, the branding, and also to do more exports with high value added. And we also talk about, we look at the extension of the industrial chain. We look at the maintenance and repairment. And we also look at the high-tech technology cooperation, and we will also regulate the cooperation. And second, we will also expand the cooperation scale and look at the cooperation. We look at the skills, that's all the room for cooperation in order to open a wider space for the companies to work with global actors. And we also look at these, not only focus on the new market, we also look at the traditional market. That's also the area for cooperation, as well as the BRI. We will also build a new Pillar Free Trade Zone, and we uphold the multilateral trading system. So we will also work on to the strengthening the global business environment. And third, we'll also build up the platform to foster the competitive advantages and also foster a new group of the upgraded foreign trade zone, and we also to improve our systems and the structures of exports and the trade, and make sure they all will towards a high quality development. And we will also do a good job to host the ACIIE and the Canton Fair.
谢谢香港中评社记者提问。那指导意见也关注到优化国内区域。
In the opinion guidance, we talk about to a better optimize the regional structure. So we talk about the Greater Bay Areas right now also building toward a important leading role. So how in the future we can better utilize the Greater Bay Area? Thank you very much. You mentioned a very important question. As we all know, the Greater Bay actually is a key decision made by the State Council in the new era. It's also the innovation and practice of one country, two system principle. It will conducive a development of a Hong Kong SAR and a Macau SAR, and also integrate into the with mainland economic development. To better support the development of the Greater Bay Area and also implement the guiding plan of the Greater Bay. So under the Commission, we have the specific working group. So they will work at a high efficiency, the unimpeded flow in terms of the capitals and the human resources. They all had meetings conducted in these areas. So we also have the several documents released in this regard. And we will also bring in more benefits to the Greater Bay Area, and we will also have the pilot projects going on in the Greater Bay Areas, make sure everything have a very free flow. And we also support the Guangdong areas to first adopt documents and policies with Hong Kong and Macau SAR. We also support Hong Kong SAR and Macau SAR to join the market system building and the upgraded consumption. It's included 6 big areas, 27 items, is covering a key areas in terms of trade, investment, finance. In the coming future, that will be a conducive part to further drive the development of the Greater Bay Area. China News Agency. So in the documents, we talk about we will have a balanced development between imports and exports. For the first 10 months, we had a little bit slowdown in our imports. So what's your take? And what's the plan for MOFCOM to drive imports? Thank you for your question regarding China's imports. From January to November, China's imports is stable compared to the same period last year. The number is more or less the same. So for November itself, the growth of import is 12.5%. Look at the agricultural products, the pharmaceuticals. Largely improved. We look at the importing countries. We talk about ASEAN countries, the Europe and Latin Americas all improved. We maintain a good momentum of growth. Talking about slowdown is 2 areas. Number one, has the lower numbers in the certain developed countries, and we talk about the communities, their price so going down, which drag the speed of China's imports. So China has a strong domestic needs for import. We have a huge potentials, and right now we also enjoy a growing phase. China will large the imports, which also our top priority. Have done this. We have never done this never before, and we have all means in the place to drive our imports, which is in the following 4 areas. Number 1, we'll continue lower the tariff. As we know, 2018 China lowered 4 times of tariff, from 9.8% to 7.5%. And we also lower the industrial products and also the items, the daily necessities, the automobile parts, as all enjoy a largely deductions. And also for the cancer drugs, it's enjoy 0 tariffs. And for 2019, for the information products, also enjoy the lower tariff. So that number even lower to 7.4%. In the coming future, we will further deduct our tariff in due time to unleash the import potential. Second, we will hold the CIIE on a regular basis. For the second CIIE, we have more than 3,000 companies from 181 countries join the CIIE, and we have the revenues or the contract right now signed in a greater number, and we already started to work for the third CIIE, and this is a great platform for global procurement and also for world trade. Third, and we will further facilitate and liberalize the foreign trade, and we will further implement the policies with the WTO, and we will establish the single window system, and we will fulfill our responsibilities. Right now, 96.2% of the policies are all in place. For the rest, we'll implement it before 2022. And fourth, we will foster a group of areas taking a pilot role. They will take a leading role to implement the policies and roll out the experience. We will build up the platforms and also foster the industrial upgrading and the consumption upgrading. And we already taken 7 questions. Due to the interest of time, the last 2 questions.
谢谢主持人，我是香港第一导报记者，想问一下，下一步在增强贸易的创新能力方面有怎样的考虑？
Regarding trade creativity, what's the plan for our next step? The Party Central Committee mentioned that China's development should further implement the innovation-driven development. That's the principle, so that including the inclusive, green, open, and transparent. So first, we should foster the new forms and models of business. We look at right now, these new kind of forms is based on e-commerce. They enjoy a thriving momentum. We look at e-commerce right now, they have a really outstanding performance. We had the first e-commerce zone established in 2015. Right now we have around 35 e-commerce zones in China. they had a 6 systems plus 2 platforms. So this is helping the mass entrepreneurship and mass innovation. So this is really attractive to the new business players. The e-commerce also increased by the 22%. For the previous 2 years, this number is even higher, it's around 40%. So we talk about e-commerce is very important. Second, we talk about market procurement. From 2013 till now, MOFCOM work with other 9 departments and ministries, approved 14 ways of market procurement. So I believe that's also in line with the needs and development of SMEs and private sectors. We talk about the globalization. We talk about the integration development. So we open our market wider to the outside world. So look at these 14 ways of market procurement. The revenue reached $80 billion. I believe that's a good supplement to our traditional business models. We talk about matter e-commerce or the new ways of market procurement. We also give a lot of the taxation policies. So this the preferred policies in terms of taxation also release the burden on the players in these regards. For MSEs, they also get a source of financing, clearing custom, financial service. They all enjoy preferential policies. This year, April, we worked with the Customs Administration and released documents in the second-hand automobiles export. And this is the first time China, as the largest car consumption countries, we tested these policies in 10 areas in China. I believe for the automobile industries, this is a new form that we fostered and also improved its works. And we also talk about the processing trade. We have a very solid foundation of manufacturing. Right now, we also extend the manufacturing to a service sector, which is processing trade. And we also talk about the service trade. In the documents, we talk about we should support the trade with bring the trade to a service part. And also with numeral features. Right now we have 17 pilot areas. Right now we evaluate all these 17 areas, and next year we will release the new places for pilot projects. So all these focusing on the fostering market entities, the new business of a business, the trade facilitation and liberalization, the statistic systems. Total 8 areas of works will be tested and roll out to the whole China from these pilot areas. We talk about the trade service, we talk about the service trade and the goods trade. We talk about import-export, service, goods trade, the trade, and the two-way trade, and trade and industrial upgrading, the upgrading are the 4 main features of the document released this time.
谢谢主持人。中国国际广播电台记者，刚才您也提到了那个指导意见要
CRI.
发展服务贸易。那么我想请
And
问
we
一下，
talk about,
商务
we
部
will
一起
focus more on the
贸易的
service
规模
trade.
还有增速
So what's the scale and the growth rate?
关于服务贸易啊，
The
这个大家
MOFCOM's
都知道呢，
projected
中国已
numbers.
经
Would you
成为
please tell us
这
these
个
numbers?
全球服务
So
贸易
talk
的
about service trade.
第二大。去年呢
China is the
去年呢
second largest in this regard around the world.
一个取得了比较快的发展。
Number for last year
今
is
年以来
around
啊，在党中央国务院的
786
牵头
billion
领导下呢，
US dollars this year under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee, and
也快速发展，成为
we continue enlarge our service trade and also a new driving force of the foreign trade. From this January to October, is enjoy a stable growth.
同比增长2.6%。
The number is
这里面
4.4
大家都知道呢，这个
trillion,
服务
up
贸
by
易
2.6%.
呢是逆差啊，去年的逆差呢，
We talk about
2500多亿美元。
is the a deficit last year
这个
last year was 250 billion US dollars. And this year we can see a narrow down of the deficit. It's dropped by 10.4% this year
1.28万亿啊，1.28万亿。这主要的原因
to 1.28 trillion.
服务贸易的啊，出口型服务贸易的竞争力逐渐的增强啊，这里面给大家
So we
举
talk
个例
about
子，
because right now our
知识密集型服务进出口
companies
啊，知识密集型服务
also
进出口
have the
达到
quite a high
5.1
competitive
亿
advantages. We talk about
同
knowledge
比增长
intense
4.7%，
export
高于服务
increased by
进出口整体增速
10.7%,
8.1%。
8.1 percentage point higher than the average of the
这个成绩还是不容易
export.
的。此外呢，
So
个人
this is
文化
a
娱乐
hard
服务
win results. We
电信、
talk
计算
about
机和信息
personal entertainment.
金
We
融
talk
服务
about the
连续快速增
computing,
长。
the financial service also enjoy a faster momentum.
我们预计啊，2019年全
Our
年
projected number for 2019,
应该说按
we
人
will
民
see
币
a
算
stable growth
啊
of
应该达到5万亿人民币左右
service trade
啊，5万亿人民币左右
around
应该保持
5
增长
trillion
啊保持增长
RMB. It's
我们国家的服务贸易总体快
enjoy
于
a
全球的
growing
增速
momentum.
啊，但
So
新
this
兴服务
momentum
出口
is
占比
faster
也在
than
提升
the
区域
major
发展
economies
不
around the
平衡不
world.
充分的问题。
And we also look at the problems like the unbalanced
从
and
以下几个方面
equivalent
推动服务贸易
developments domestically.
高质
Some
量
of
发
COM
展
will work
我
in
就
the following
简单地展
areas.
开因为刚才我也跟大
I
家
will
提到
not
这个
mention in details
第一呢，
because
还是
I
继续推进
already touched
啊这
upon
个服务贸
several
易创新
points before. And first, we will
通
have
过
the
试点
pilot
一点
areas.
带面啊
And so from all these pilot areas, it will be help us to examine all the policy systems and platforms to roll out to other places of China. Second, we'll also foster a new form of business, and we'll look at how digital can play a greater role in these areas, and we'll also look at the research and development design, let them to play a greater role in trade
探索
service.
跨境
And
服务贸易负面
third,
市场
we'll
化
also look at a border trade, and we'll also look into the details about the negative links, market access for border
有序推
cooperation.
进服务贸易领域对外开放，以“一带一路”相
And
关国家
we
为重点，
Also
加
work
快
with
推进
BRI countries
更多国家建立服务贸易的合作机制。
to establish the cooperation mechanism with BRI countries and countries around the world. Thank you. And this is the end of the press conference. Thank you.